Hello everyone, and welcome to Skyrim, but I am just a normal guy, part 1. I am playing as a hunter with the alternate start mod, or a camper who starts in the woods. This character is not the Dragonborn, they are no adventurer, they are simply a humble man trying to make his way in Skyrim. After collecting a couple of the things around my camp, I begin moving down the road towards Riverwood, hunting various animals I find along the way, mostly foxes. After hunting a couple of animals along the way, I decide to grab the Thief Stone as to level my archery and light armor a little bit faster. I come across my first actual deadly enemies in this run of the wolves that block the way to Riverwood, although they do not pose much of a threat. After clearing out those wolves, I continue down the road and bypass Riverwood altogether to start off, because since I did not leave with Ralof or Hadvar, there's not really much there for me to do. I instead go straight to Whiterun as to sell some of the things that I get and get started making some money. One of the first things that I do is take the furs that I collected along the way and turn them into a brown fur backpack. I then go out into the Whiterun outskirts and begin hunting some animals so that I can get more furs and meat, both for eating and for selling, as I am an honest man and I only collect money through honest work. After doing a bit of hunting, I return to Whiterun and craft a small fur tent with bed. That way, if I am ever out in the wild and need to sleep, I can use that rather than being forced to find an inn or place nearby until I'm able to buy my own home, which will be the ultimate goal of this playthrough, will be to buy the manor in Falkreath and build it all the way up, only earning gold through honest means. I do a bit more hunting in the wilds throughout the rest of the day, and then return to Belethor's shop to sell the rest of those goods. Along with that, I also sell the various things that I picked up from my starter sack that I got when I started this character. After that, I spend some time chopping wood to give to Hulda for the firewood in the Bannered Mare Inn to make a little extra gold with the remaining daylight that I had. I go inside, have Hulda take all of my firewood, and then go upstairs for a little nap. And with that, the first day is completed. While I'm on my way downstairs, I get the idea that I can talk to Carlotta real quick and get the quest to beat up Mikhail, which is easy, especially considering he's right here in front of me, and that allows me to get a quick 250 gold.
If it's a lady, Carlotta put you up to this, didn't she? I'm sorry, but that fiery widow is... I don't have to take that from you. You're as... Let's see what you're made of.
Get him! Come on, he's not
fight against Mikhail only takes me a few seconds. And after getting that, I can get some easy gold from Carlotta.
Really? I'd thank the gods, but I'll settle for thanking you.
After that, I come back inside and try out another one of my mods, which is a bar/in game kind of mod, where you're able to play games of dice or cards with people inside of a bar. I tried this one called, that's a dice game that is basically the same as, or similar to, blackjack in real life. If you played it, basically what you do is you roll the first dice, or the first dice are rolled for you automatically, and flip a coin to see who goes first. In this case, it was heads, so I ended up going first. And whatever the dice lands on the first time, in this case it was 9, you triple that to figure out what score you're trying to get as close as possible to without going over. So in this instance, the maximum possible score is 27. I end up throwing the dice 3 times and get a score of 25, and then I decide to hold there. Sadia is only able to get 22, and thus I win the game. Although it's only 5 symptoms, it was nice to win my first little game in the bar, and I may end up doing more of that in the future. After that, I returned towards Riverwood and passed a group of travelers heading towards Solitude on the way. Then, once I got back to Riverwood, I decided to try my hand at fishing. This was my first time attempting the fishing minigame, since I had been gifted it as part of the Creation Club during the anniversary of Skyrim. Took me a little bit to figure out how the minigame worked, as I thought that it worked, or was trying to pull it out as soon as it began to vibrate, or as soon as the controller began to vibrate, which was not actually what you need to do. You actually need to wait until the fishing pole is pulled up into the air, and then you're able to pull in the fish. Like that. And just like that, I caught my first fish, a pogfish. I then went and sold a couple of things around Riverwood, and with the money and materials I had gained, I was able to make myself a padded fur hood, which I realized actually does less, or adds less warmth than the fur helmet that I had before, but it looks cooler, so I'm going to stick with it anyway. I then began heading up the road to go through the mountain pass so that I could cross by the central mountain and be on my way towards Riften. This was a relatively slow walk with not too much going on along the way, although I did eventually run into Maik the Liar, who gave me a little bit of wisdom, as he often does. I'd never heard of this line of dialogue from him before. It may be because I am a Nord character in this instance. After that, I continued along the path and killed a wolf outside the alchemist's shack. I then went inside the alchemist's shack, took everything that I could, and crafted everything that I had spare into potions so that I could make more money off of it in the future. As I continued along my path to Riften, I ended up running into a massive pack of wolves that were the biggest threat that I had come across thus far. I got completely surrounded by the wolves at first, and as I was trying to jump on top of a rock to get away from them, I accidentally picked up a set of armor and a book. Eventually, though, I was able to heal up a little bit and begin taking out the wolves one by one. As I continued along the road, I was attacked by a thief who nearly killed me. But just in time, I was able to heal up and switch to my axe to finish the thief off, as this is the first time that I've run out of arrows since the beginning of the run. After defeating the thief, I continue along the road towards Riften.
Weapon. So many. Take a look.
Once I get to Riften, I sell a couple of my things to the Khajiit caravan just outside and consider buying some cork bulb arrows. And then I realize that I would be better off going inside the town, buying some iron ingots, and then cutting some wood so that I can craft them into iron arrows easily myself and be able to get way more arrows for a way more efficient price. Instead, I decide just to sell the potions that I don't need and other things that I don't need to the Khajiit.
May your road lead you to warm sands. Khajiit is always watching for thieves and pickpockets.
After that, I head towards the gate. As I walk up to Riften for the first time, I, as many of you probably know, am about to be shaken down by the guard.
For the privilege of entering the city. What does it matter? Call it what you want. You don't pay, then you're not getting in.
Unfortunately, this early in the game, I do not believe you can get a guaranteed persuasion to get into Riften, so I instead have to pay the 70 golds to get in.
All I want is a
Decide when you're ready.
How hard can it be?
After the guard unlocks the gate, I am able to get in.
Wonderful. Mara is the goddess. We also perform.
The first thing that I do once I get into Riften is go speak to Marmal, because I want to get an amulet of Mara so that I can ultimately get married. That'll be one of the goals for this playthrough, as I'm trying to play as just a normal guy. And so what do normal people in Skyrim do? Well, they find spouses, they settle down, they have a house, they get children, etc. So those are all the goals of this playthrough as Skyrim, but just as a normal guy. I go back outside and craft a bunch of firewood and iron ingots into iron arrows so that I am no longer scrounging for the few arrows that I can find. I then go back out into the woods as the evening is coming upon me and kill one more elk while I'm looting his body, though I get attacked by a skeever who I'm able to very easily deal with. And finally, at the end of the second day, I take my tent that I created on the first day and place it down so that I can get a free spot to sleep and don't have to pay to stay at the inn this evening. And with that, this is the end of day 2 and the end of part 1 of Skyrim, but just a normal guy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.